In this video, we're going to take a look at something called master slides in PowerPoint 2016. And a master slide is basically a template for everything that's used in your slideshow. It contains the backgrounds and colors and fonts and locations of everything on the various different types of slides. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at inserting footers into a document, and you'll see why we're doing that in a minute. So let's take this slideshow here. This is a template that I've downloaded from the internet. This is the address that I downloaded it from, and I'll include this address in the comments below the video. Okay, so let's insert a footer. It's on the Insert tab up here, and we've got header and footer, and we'll put everything in. We'll do the date and the time, we'll do a slide number, and we'll do a footer, and we'll put our text in the footer here. We'll just put our name in. And we will show it on the title slide. We can always go back and change that if we want to, and then we're going to click on Apply to All. And now when we look at our slide, we see the slide number is up here, the footer is right here, and the date is right here. They've both been rotated 90 degrees, and this really isn't what I'd call a footer area. The footer area should be down here. So that's part of the style of this particular theme, though, or this template. And if you look at the next slide, it's in the same place, and it's in the same place on every single one. So if I want to change it, I could go here and let's just click on the name here, and let's rotate it. And I'm going to try to get it horizontal there, and then once I get it horizontal, I'm just going to click and drag it down and put it down here. And so let's say you want it down there. Well, if you do that on the title slide here, that's fine, but it doesn't apply to any of the other slides. So you'd have to go and change them individually on the other slides. Instead of doing that, the easy way to do it, I'm going to undo that here. I may have to do a couple of undos. Okay. Instead of doing it slide by slide, since this is something that appears on every slide, we can change what's called the master slide. So the master slide grabs header and footer, footer location on a slideshow, and the fonts and the colors and the backgrounds and locations, all of those are obtained from the master slide. So the place you find the master slide is up here on the View tab, and it is in Master Views here, and we are only going to look at the Slide Master. We're not going to look at the handout or the notes. So click on Slide Master here, and it takes you to this window, and on the left side we have thumbnails, and the thumbnails are all of the different types of slides that could be in the show. And the very first one up here is kind of like a grandmaster that's a master for everything, and all of these ones down here below get some of their information from this big master slide up here. So the orange background on this slide is available on all the other ones. The font for the titles up here is available on all the other ones. And let's just do a quick example here. Actually, before we do the example, let's take a look at these other slides here. If I pause the mouse over each one of these smaller thumbnails on the left, it tells you what the layout is and how many slides use it and which slides use it. So it's a title slide, and it's used by slide number 1. This is a title and content. It's used by slides 3 through 6 and 8 through 9. So it looks like 2 and 7 are still unaccounted for, and 10. So this one is a section header, and that is slide number 10. This one is to content layout, and that's slides 2 and 7. And I think that accounts for all the slides in our show. If I go down here and start looking at the rest of them, it says no slides. So if I want to change something on only the title slides, and if I had multiple title slides in my show, it would change all of them. I would change this one here. If I want to change something on the title and content layout slides, I would change this here. But if I want to change something about my entire slideshow, all of the slides in my slideshow, like for example where the footer stuff goes, then I need to change it on this one up here. So we're going to select this one up here at the top. And just to give you a quick idea here of how this works, we're going to select the title here, the master title style, and we are going to go to our Home tab, and I'm going to make that text blue. And you'll notice over here on the left that everything is inherited from that master slide, and we get a bunch of blue titles on almost every slide here that has some kind of a title. Okay, we got a completely blank slide there that does not, but all of the other ones have some blue text on them, and that's because we changed this up here, and they all inherit from this. Okay, let me undo that. I'll leave it the way it was. But what I want to do now is I want to change some of this stuff here for the footer. So let's click on the date over here, and first of all, let's rotate it 90 degrees so it is horizontal, and we'll put that right down here below the text box. Let's click on, well, there's an extra text box that I don't think should be there. I'm going to delete that. And now let's click on the rest of what's called the footer, and that's just our name. And we're going to click on that and drag it down and drop it down here. Then the last thing we're going to do, well, we'll leave the slide numbers up there. Okay, but let's make one change to them first. Let's drag the mouse over that, and this is a code, so you don't actually change what's in here. That'll be a different number depending on the slide that you happen to be on. But let's make it quite a bit bigger. Right now it's 28. Let's make some really big slide numbers. Oh, let's not go too far here. Let's try 40. Okay, and let's also make it bold. Okay, so we made this bigger and bold, and we've put these down here at the bottom, and now they're not quite lining up for some reason, and I think that must have to do with the text inside the text box, because the text boxes are lined up, and I really don't want to get into that right now. The easy way to fix it, I guess, for right now is just like move this up a few pixels so that they look like they're on the same level. Okay, and now let's go to our Slide Master tab up here, and there's a red and white X over here. They recently changed it to red on white. It used to be white on red. And we'll close the master view, and now we are back looking at our slideshow, and the title slide still has the name up here. Okay, the other slides have the date and the name down here at the bottom, and if I go through my whole slideshow, they'll all be down there. Nothing's going to move as I go from slide to slide. The numbers are bigger and they are bold, but if I go back up here to the top, this one didn't get moved, and the reason this one didn't get moved is because we were playing with it before, and so PowerPoint assumes that because we were adjusting the location of this, that we wanted it to override whatever the default was. Well, I don't want it to override what the default is. I want it to be down here just like all of the other ones, so I'm going to move it down to the bottom. So if you've tinkered with something before you apply changes in the Slide Master, then whatever it is that you have modified, PowerPoint is going to assume that you want that to override the master, and it will just leave it there. So don't make too many changes before you go to the master, because you may have to undo some of those changes later on. So that's how you can make some changes in the master slide. Basically anything you do to that master slide is going to carry through the rest of your slideshow and all of the slides that are in your slideshow. So if you need something more than, we've got a design tab here, that affects everything in the slideshow as well, and if we go to our colors over here, and if we go to formatting background, all of those will affect, and we've also got some options here. The colors affects everything in the slideshow, the fonts affects everything in the slideshow. All of these things here, we don't do effects very much, but the background styles will affect everything in the slideshow. But if you can't change it with one of these options here, then what you need to do is go in and modify the master slide.